Hello, welcome back to PetrolBlog's Rubbish YouTube channel. It's been a while, hope you're well. Before we start this video on the Proton with the magic light bar, I'd just like to point out that the fire assembly point is here. So if there are any emergencies in this video, please congregate in this area here. But look, look at this. We have a Proton. This is an unexpected addition to the fleet. There hasn't been much activity on the fleet of late, which is why there's been no videos. I figured that actually there's no point uploading stuff to say that nothing's happening. But over the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks, there's been a flurry of activity. I really like the word flurry. When someone says there's snow flurries, it always sounds more romantic than snow showers or snowfall. So yeah, flurry of activity, including this. And as you can see, it's a Proton, and you probably knew that from the title, which is probably why you're here. Hello to anyone from Malaysia. I know there's a lot of love for the Proton. Saga Iswara in Malaysia, and quite rightly too, your first national car, although this is the Mark II Saga. This is the Mark II Saga, known as the Saga Iswara. And if you don't know your Protons, and I'm sure you do, the Mark I was the original Proton sold in the UK, and that's the one that's the remarkable Black Knight, John Coupland's remarkable Black Knight that won Festival of the Unexceptional this year. And the Mark II is one owned by the remarkable and brilliant Steph Holloway, iDriver Classic. Now she's got the saloon. This is the Aeroback. Aeroback? Sounds like a cross between Aerosmith and Beck. That'd be a good concert, to be fair. No, this is the Aeroback, which is Proton speak for hatchback. So at the Christmas party this year, if anyone said, can you name 5 famous aeros, you could say Aerosmith, Aero Chocolate, Aeronautical, Aeroplane, and Aeroback. Anyway, before we start, I just want to point out these aren't the proper. This is an SE, the top of the range SE. I'm jumping ahead. I have so much to say. If I'd have done this video 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when I first bought this car, I'd be jumping around like a mad fish. So excited to have this car. They aren't the correct wheel trims. They are from the GL model. This is the SE, and it has those kind of weird, well, I'll show you in a minute, the weird sort of SE 3-spoke alloy effect. And I say alloy effect in very loose terms, alloy wheel trims. The reason they're not on is that the previous owner, Ed, hello Ed, nice to meet you. Thank you for taking care of this car for me before I bought it. They fly off like an American road movie, you know, in like a police chase and those American things where all the wheel trims always fly off on every corner. They do that a lot. So I haven't put them on yet. I will put them on because I think I prefer them. I think I've got some in the boot. I haven't looked. I didn't check. I should have checked before I came out. I think there's some in the boot because weirdly I got 10 with this car, 10 wheel trims. So even if I do lose a couple, I've got some spare ones. Obviously the big attraction on this car for anyone, especially, well, for everybody, is this. The light bar of happiness. I will show it to you in a minute. I'm going to be like a little tease. I'm going to be Dieter Von T. Is that how you say her name? And not show you the goods until a minute. Maybe skip forward to avoid the dull bits in between. I've got so much to say, and I'm so excited that I can't think what I'm going to say next. Yes, so this is my Proton 1.5 SE. This was the top of the range Proton in 1993. I still can't use a gimbal, so forgive me, as Brian Adams said, for 16 weeks in the UK. This is as good as it got in 1993. When you were buying a Proton in 1993, the 1.5 SE, so it's the big engine and the top spec, and you had a choice of saloon or Aeroback. And I don't know this for certain, but I'm guessing most of the target audience of Protons would prefer the saloons. Kind of that kind of style of car. People liked booted or compact saloons of that era. So I don't know. Someone might be able to tell me this. I'm guessing saloons outweighed Aerobacks in sales. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Of course, I mean the heck blender of the world. I mean look at that. Basically the Mark II. What was bad Proton MPI in the UK, or just Proton 1.5 SE, as in my case, and the DVLA. The Mark II was a heavily restyled Mark 1, and I think it was known as the Saga Iswara in Malaysia. Over here it wasn't never known as that. Maybe in some road test reports, but they never kind of referred to it. What's remarkable, and I'm going to use that word a lot because I always do, what's remarkable about this one is that it's not some garage queen. It's not some car that was owned by an elderly gentleman or elderly woman for a number of years and only bought out to go for a service every year. This car's been well used. It's done 95,000 miles. So the fact that it survived in such a good condition is testament really to Proton stroke Mitsubishi build quality, because obviously this is based on an old Mitsubishi Lancer, and Proton used it to good effect. And at the time, sort of early 90s, beginning of the 90s, Proton I think was the fastest growing car brand in the UK. At one point they had more dealers than Citroën, and they built their foundations really on sort of cheap prices, low rate finance, free insurance, that kind of stuff. So this car had a 6-year powertrain warranty, 2 years RAC cover, cheap insurance, which I think was called Proton Insurance, I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I've got a brochure in the car, I'll have a look. And originally sold by Westbrook Cars in Canterbury, and it's still got its original dealer plates. It hasn't got its original dealer sticker, which is one of those things. Can't complain too much. The wheels are dirty. I mean, it was clean last time I used this car. I don't know where I've been. Clearly been over some ploughed fields, a bit like a Citroën 2CV. And actually, speaking of which, this car does remind me of a Citroën in some ways. Before you turn off, I'll explain that in a minute. Don't be too insulted, Citroën fans. So for what I gather, this was originally a dealer demonstrator. So the dealer's demonstrator had it for, I guess, 3 months, and piled it high with everything you could get at the time. So it's got metallic paint, sunroof, and all the trimmings, which I'll come on to when I jump inside. The big news, which I'm guessing not a lot of people did this at the time, this isn't just any Proton 1.5 SE, it's an air-conditioned Proton 1.5 SE. And that's a very rare thing on these cars, to get an air-conditioned one. And it still works, it still blows icy cold, which is fantastic. So you've got mud flaps, original Proton mud flaps, chrome trim for the exhaust, which I think was SE. Again, I'm still getting to know the trim levels a little bit. And the sunroof, which is a bit of a pain, because we had lots of rain recently and it leaked. It put a big pool of water here and there, so I'll be getting the strimmer wire out to sort that out. And to be fair, it doesn't really matter too much because it's in the garage. It's not going to get used in the rain anyway. It's not going to get used in the salt. It's had a rare trip out for this video today, but it won't be going out in any salty conditions because it's too good. It's too remarkable. It's pretty original. I know the bonnet's been resprayed. The bonnet has definitely been resprayed. I got a receipt for it. It's a good job. And I think the bottoms of the doors were redone. So this has been repainted. It's a really good match. You know, you have to point it out to know it's been done. What I love about this is that you're in no illusion that this is the Proton badge, the old Proton logo, which some people hate. I really like it. Proton on the wheels, Proton warning sticker, new Proton, MPI catalyst, Proton on the wheel trims, Proton guaranteed to the year 2000, so Jarvis Cocker will be very happy about that. And Japanese technology, Malaysian style. Don't think these are original stickers, I think they're repros and they're going to stay on. Don't think the GB sticker is going to stay on. It's too sticker heavy on the back. But that's because it's been to the Netherlands. And I imagine it went down very well in the Netherlands. Another Proton badge there. And in true Triumph TR7 style, they've done the same on this side. It is obviously a fully paid up member of Club PetrolBlog. And you should be too if you like seeing this kind of, at least swore then, rubbish on YouTube. You want to see this, don't you? I've got to put it on. It's time to put on the light bar. Now the thing about the light bar, never sold in the UK. I'm going to make you wait a bit longer. Never available in the UK. You can't imagine many Proton owners or customers going into a Proton showroom and saying, I really, really want a light bar. It's just not their kind of thing. For what I gather, it was purely in Malaysia, purely a domestic option. So it's definitely, and I'm going to say this 100% with certainty, it's definitely the only Proton light bar in the UK, almost certainly the only one in Europe, probably the only one in the Western world. And Malaysian viewers, please tell me how many of these are in Malaysia still. It's a wonderful thing. I don't know who added it. It certainly wasn't the dealer, and it definitely wasn't the first owner. And between the third owner and me buying it from Ed, hello Ed again, that's when it was added. It's fantastic. I mean, it's a huge talking point. And you can actually use it in isolation. You don't have to rely. You don't have to have the lights on, so you could drive around like Michael Knight. There it is. There it is, in all of its glory. The Proton light bar of happiness. And it's, I am like a kid when it comes to the light bar. It takes me back to when I was a child, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this. When you had a little model car that did something different, like the MG Maestro, which I think if you press down at the front, the lights flash, and maybe at the back, if you press down on the back, the brake lights came on. It could have been just in tandem, I don't know, but my memory's a little bit hazy. But it was that one. And my dad had a Rover P6 model, you went along with its lights on, unless you held your finger over the back window, and the lights went off, because the light kind of came through the back window and through the front. Brilliant. It was little things like that. And obviously when you had Matchbox, I had Matchbox Power Track, and the lights that came on, it just made it so much better. This reminds me of that. So it's like all my Christmases come at once. It's a Proton, and it's got a Proton light bar. I'm just getting excited now. You can tell I'm losing my mind a little bit. And obviously you can have it with side lights on or main dipped beam. Yeah, there we go. Hello. There we go. Isn't it brilliant? I absolutely love it. I'll overlay a picture of it with the lights on at night, because obviously it looks brilliant. Eat your heart out, Volkswagen ID3s and Mercedes electric cars. This is where it's at. I love this car. By the way, that noise is really annoying. That happens if you leave the key ignition or the lights are on. I'm going to point out why this reminds me of a Citroen a little bit. Single spoke steering wheel and little satellite controls either side of the dashboard. So you've got your lights on this side, off, side, main dipped, and windscreen wiper and washers on that side. And there's a switch, a little aftermarket switch for the light bar, which I'll turn off now. Now you've seen it in all of its brilliant glory. I'm going to jump in. This is normally where it gets really weird. You hear me little awkward groans as I get in. So here is a dashboard of happiness. And what's nice about this single spoke steering wheel is it gives you brilliant visibility of all the dials and the switches. I mean, look at that. Nice clear dials. Got a rev counter, speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge. Temperature gauge not working at the moment. That's probably the only thing that's not working on this car. There's your air conditioning switch. A little digital clock, which I think was an SE bonus item. And the air conditioning just switch on or off. You hear the condenser kicking in. You lose about 10 brake horsepower with the air conditioning on. It's one of the old school air conditioning. This 1.5 litre engine develops, or 1.5, can I say it properly, 1.5 triple valve 4-cylinder engine develops, I think, 89 brake horsepower at 6,000 RPM. I haven't actually got up to 6,000 RPM yet. I'm trying to treat it with a little bit of respect because, as I said earlier, it's done 95,000 miles, which I believe makes the condition all the more remarkable. Turn this off. This little tray here is the perfect size for a small size Tropicana bottle, which is great. So if you're doing a meal deal, you get your sandwich, your chocolate bar and your drink, your Tropicana, and probably your innocent smoothie will go in there nicely. Just don't go around corners, obviously. Your heated rear window here, hazard lights here, little compartment there, which I think is that a trolley? Yeah, a little trolley token, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful trolley token. Ashtray here. And there's your cigarette lighter. Never been smoked in, which is one of those things that we get excited about here at PetrolBlog. Original Blaupunk stereo. Radio works. Don't think the tape works. At least it didn't It's a Blaupunkt Sydney, by the way. At least it didn't when I tried one of those tape to iPod connectors going to Haynes Breakfast Club. Need to try again. Another little storage compartment there, which is perfect for iPhones, by the way. So Proton knew the future was coming. 5-speed box. Very slick 5-speed box as well, by the way. And just down there you can see electric door mirrors. Single spoke steering wheel glory. It hasn't got electric windows, by the way. It's got power windows which go up and down, which is quite remarkable. Keep fit windows in the back. I'll jump in the back in a minute. But I think the interior's aged very well, considering it's from a Mitsubishi from the 1980s. And you know, you could argue in 1993 that this was too old, but now it's almost even more retro as a result. No squeaks or rattles, I don't think, which is good. The SE's got this lovely velour finish, which I think is Braemar. I need to check that again. And oh, by the way, another little storage tray down there, and nice, reasonable size glove box with the aforementioned tape in there. These seats, by the way, described as fully reclining bucket seats. They're so nice. I love velour. I'm not one of these leather fans. I'd always choose velour, like Vanessa Carlton would, over leather. That's a fact, by the way. That's not just me making up. Vanessa Carlton would choose velour over leather. The original RAC handbook from 1993. I believe it was 2 years RAC cover with these, which at the time was quite a thing. We'll jump in the back. Let's jump in the back. So you want to see the back as well. I have a brochure in the back, as I remember. So you've got keep fit windows in the back. Not a huge amount of legroom in the back, especially for me, because I'm tall and annoying and lanky. I'm not quite Peter Crouch, but I'm getting that way. So I'm not going to sit in here. I actually can't get my other leg in without doing a big injury. And as I'm on my own in a car park, I don't want that injury. 2 copies of Classic Retro Modern 5 there. By the way, Classic Retro Modern 6 is now on sale with this very car. Got a double page spread in there. And so you can see it in all its glory. Here is the original brochure. The new line of Proton, in recognition of the Mark II Proton. They are the wheels I mentioned. These are the wheel trims that should be fitted to mine. I think there's some in the boot. I will check. Do you know what? I might close. I'm not going to close the door. I can't close my door because my leg's stuck outside. So this is the brochure from the time. I do like the two-tone. Doesn't that look great? There's the Aeroback, and I'm guessing that's probably a saloon there. It's hard to tell. So if you look at the lineup at the time, you had the basic GE, the GL, and the GLS in the 1.3, and then the 1.5 GL, GLS, and SE. So Aeroback 5-door is pretty much top of the range. Power assisted steering is fitted as standard to all 1.3 GLS and 1.5 models. Oh, there you go. There's your Star Drive package. 6 years engine warranty, 6-year body warranty, 2 years comprehensive manufacturer's warranty, RAC membership for 2 years, Proton Insurance, Proton Security, and access to a 24-hour, 365-day replacement windscreen service. These packages back then were a big thing, and Proton really knew what they were doing. And like I say, when they arrived, they really appealed to people who just wanted to get from A to B. I seem to remember they were very popular with geography teachers. I don't know why. That was just an anecdotal thing I remember. All about the engines. That's my interior. It's the SE interior. Doesn't it look great? I love period photos. I love Japanese, I call it Japanese, because it is Japanese. I love Japanese interiors of the 80s and 90s anyway. It is possible to relax in total comfort without excessive expense. Air conditioning available as an option maximises driver and passenger comfort. Hence why this one's got that. Look at that steering wheel. Seriously, fantastic. And so there's your saloon lineup. I mean, that is basic, isn't it? I mean, even looks poverty spec. Fantastic though. Love it. Love it. So the GE is the bottom of the range. Then you have the GL. Again with a heck blend on the back. Moving up to GLS and SE. And then we'll skip through to the Aeroback, because I don't want to miss a thing. at it. Look at it without its light bar at the back. It's not quite as good. Reflective panel, not light bar. Look at it in white. Properly nice. Oh look, I nearly skipped my own car. Bloody hell, I've waffled on for 20 minutes, so I do apologise. I've got to upload this later. So there we are, SE in all its glory with the 3-spoke effect wheel trims. So you've got power assisted steering, central door locking, electric powered front windows, remote control colour key door mirrors, driver's seat adjustment, instrument cluster brightness control, tinted glass and tilt and slide sunroof, fully reclining wraparound bucket style front seats with tilt adjustable head restraints, and there's your Blaupunkt 3-band stereo system, a loop pile carpet and kick strip to doors with needle punch carpet in luggage compartment, which I'll come on to in a minute. I'll show you that in a minute. Full width custom styled wheel trims, wraparound 3-piece tailgate spoiler. I forgot to mention that. It's a lovely thing, by the way. It really I think it's really nicely done. It's a nice little touch. And a signal red tailgate styling panel. Obviously no mention of the light bar because that wasn't available. And there's your options. So metallic paint, tick. Two-tone paintwork, not ticked. Automatic transmission, not ticked, thank goodness. And air conditioning, ticked. I say thank goodness because I think the manual box is so nice. And also the auto box, it strips the engine of power. How nice do those alloy wheels look, by the way. The Saturn wheels, I really like a set of those. I think I've got more chance of it snowing in the next 10 minutes of me finding any of those, but one day, you never know. Look at that body kit. I would die for a Proton watch. Again, not going to happen. Maybe I should recreate some, maybe I should get them remade for PetrolBlog. Oh, by the way, I mean that is just automotive porn. Proton police car, Proton driving school cars and a Proton taxi. Look at that! So yeah, was I right? Yeah, 89 brake horsepower from the engine. Believe it or not, 49 mpg, pretty good. Can't find the 0 to 60 time, but it's probably staring me right in the face. It's one of those things, isn't it? You can't see it. You're probably reading it as I'm waffling on here, but 0 to 60 I think is quite slow, especially in the auto box. Oh, there we go. I was being stupid. Yeah, 13 seconds for this car, 16.5 seconds. So yeah, good luck with that. And there's your full list of specifications. I just realised I spent 5 minutes going for a brochure, which is a bit naff. But if you're still there, thank you for bearing with me. We'll get in the boot. Again, old man groaning as I get out. Look at that finish. I love the door. I love this finish. Beautiful. That's beautiful and remarkable. 2 things that won't be on my headstone when I die. Oh, there's your little wraparound spoiler. Isn't it great? I think the way it integrates with the tailgate is actually really neat. Well done, Proton, for that little touch of genius. To open the boot, I think I have to use the key. Oh, there is a remote boot opening there. So the boot is now open. Obviously you can use the key if needs be. It's a really heavy boot, by the way. Oh yeah, I have got the wheel trims in there. That's not my rubbish on the way to the tip. I've got some cleaning cloths there from when I went to Haynes. But the wheel trims, all 10 of them, are in there. 50 Monopoly points. Look at this, by the way. Tiny little parcel shelf. Not going to get many parcels on that, but it's a nice touch. Blaupunkt speakers in the back. Stereo's quite good actually. I mean, it's not up to Volvo standards, modern Volvo standards, but it's pretty good. I bought these from Haynes. Let's see, I can't remember what I actually got. I can't do it one hand. Basically, some pin badges in there. I think they're Renault. I can show them on another video. I'm sure you're really excited about that. By the way, it is green. I know it looks black. It's probably looking black in the video. It's actually green. It changes colour in certain lights. The only thing I can find in the bodywork is this little blemish there. You just see it. Yeah, I might try and get that removed at some point. Obviously, only unleaded will do. None of this E10 rubbish, by the way. This is purely on... Hello, Mr. Motorbike. This is purely super unleaded for this car. Only the best for this Proton. I love it. I absolutely love it. The fleet didn't need any more cars. If anything, the fleet needed trimming. We'll come on to that in another video. I'll start the engine up. Do you want to see under the bonnet? It's going to take it up to 30 minutes if I do that, which is not great. But I'll open the bonnet anyway, come on. I'll turn the light bar on as well, so you get something to look forward to. I think it's up here. There it is. So it's just up there. Dull information of the year award. Look at that interior though. Look at it! This is where I always struggle to do a bonnet with one hand. Obviously it's made a lot easier because visibility is so much better with the light bar illuminated. It just makes everything in life easier. Everything should have a light bar. Alright, I'm going to have to do that a minute while I put the strut up. So there you are. There's your Magma 12 valve engine. Needs a bit of detailing under here. I have to say Ed did a brilliant job of keeping this beautiful when he had it. Ed's got a very nice Astra, by the way, that I might try and feature on this channel with any interest, because I think it's a great Astra. He looks after his cars beautifully, Ed. But I will need to detail this engine at some point to bring it up to scratch. So yeah, there's the engine bay. We'll start her up now. Now the engine's open. Let's start her up. It's potentially one of the longest videos I've ever done, but then this is the Proton. It deserves it. There's that magic noise. It's going to keep doing that. What I'm going to do is put the window down. Put the window down. There you go. Engine ticking over. Lots of leaves. I do apologise. I honestly thought when I brought this out of the garage it was clean. Didn't do a brilliant job, did I? But hey, it's this isn't garagequeens.com. This is used daily. Well, it's not used daily. That'd be silly. But there you go. I really don't want to get to 30 seconds. 30 seconds? That would be terrible. 30 minutes. But by the time I've added my Club PetrolBlog update at the end and say thank you to all the new members, it's going to be getting onto that. So I will call it a day. But what I do is just to keep you guys happy, we'll leave with full glory. We'll leave with the money shot. Oh, by the way, there we go. I suppose actually it's quite nice to see the back of the light bar. It's got a simple setup really. Is it 3 bulbs? Yeah, 3 bulbs. That is the Proton 1.5 SE with added light bar, now live on YouTube for all you Proton perverts. I'm going to say thanks for watching and stay safe, but I'll add a little bit extra about Club PetrolBlog which you could ignore if you want to. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Hello, thank you for wading through this very long video. Actually, it was much longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to keep this very short. But I will say is a big well done to Club PetrolBlog members Ben Carter, Ben Hooper, Alex Wakefield, Tom Wiltshire and Chris Evans. You are the lucky winners of the Hot Wheels car, courtesy of Falcon Tyres, so thanks for that. And also a big well done to Andy York. Your name was the first out of the hat for the Russ Wallis illustration of the Citroen ZX16 valve, which I think he's completed already and it looks great. If you do want to sign up to Club PetrolBlog, go to petrolblog.com and sign up there. You get a tax disc, you get discount off tyres, you get regular prize draws and a terrible newsletter that comes through now and again. And also you'll be supporting the least influential motoring blog and the world's worst YouTube channel. If that's not enough of an incentive, I don't know what is. And with that, and with desperate hope that I get it under 30 minutes, I'm going to say thanks for watching again and see you on the next video, which I think is going to be on the Peugeot 406. Take care.